Hello everyone, this is Cindy Carlson and this is my tour of my collection of materials relating to the Badger Knight. I am using Pearl Trees, which if you haven't used it, it's pretty good. There are some drawbacks to it, but I like that it lets you use images and it lets you create collections and subgroupings within the collections. So it does some things that I can't do in my preferred resource, which is Pinterest. But I really like Pinterest mainly because I know how it works really well. So it took me a while to get a good grasp of how this works. It does let you add all kinds of materials. It lets you add notes and websites and videos and lots of other kinds of things, documents. So let me take you on your quick tour. The first thing I've got on here is the site for the Badger Knight from Scholastic. My audience here is really other librarians and teachers. So I have included this because there's a teacher's toolkit on here too. It's actually more general. It's not specific to the Badger Knight, but there are some good resources within it. But I thought it would be helpful to have all of the information about the Badger Knight up front. Now this next part is a list of collaborative ideas and lesson ideas to use when you teach the Badger Knight. My idea here was that I would either be teaching with an English teacher or an English teacher would be teaching the Badger Knight and she would maybe need some additional materials that I could help her coordinate with other teachers like the art teacher or even the PE teacher in this instance. I am going to go ahead and close this so that when I go into this tile, you can see the annotation at the top. This is a subset of resources on Hadrian's Wall. It features prominently in the book, and this will allow teachers and students to learn more about the wall, not just general factual information, but some history. And you can even plan a walk along the trail. And I liked this because it helps you get down to a little bit more granular detail about the trail and get a better idea of exactly how vast it is. There's also information about illuminated manuscripts, including a link to a beautiful manuscript page. I thought it would be interesting to use that as an inspiration for students to illuminate a page about themselves or about a story that they've written. And it is actually a page that's from the time and place, more or less, that the book is set. There are links within some of these detailing a little bit more about what the collaborative possibility might be. And this one happens to also have some broader information about illuminated manuscripts from the British Library. There's also information on late medieval English architecture, including castles and churches, but also a little bit about regular homes and cities. There is a link to resources on map skills, including images of the Gough map, which is the oldest known map of Britain. And it looks about how it would have looked when the main character was alive. All right, there's also some additional information on geography websites for middle school students, because often map skills are taught in elementary school, but I think there are things that can be gained from middle schoolers using map skills as well. And there's more detail about that in the note. The next section is about medieval archery. The main character is an archer and his father is a bowyer. And if you don't know what that is, you could click here and see the definition. A bowyer makes bows. There's information here generally about archery in medieval England, some goofy fun facts about medieval archery, which is something from, I think, the BBC History magazine. I'm not sure that it's entirely appropriate for children, but as I said, my main audience would be for teachers and librarians. The Archery 101 site from Archery 360 is a site for archery enthusiasts, and it has all kinds of information if kids are interested in actually becoming archers. And there is a video from YouTube that shows a novice bowman who makes an ash longbow in one day, which is super wonderful if you are a maker. And it makes you really understand that that's something that they might have had to do on a pretty regular basis in medieval England. All right, beyond the archery, there are characters in the book that not only use herbs, but there's also some physicians. The physicians are not trusted nearly as well as the herbalists are, so there's information here about medicine in general and about herbalists in Europe, and also what you might have grown in a medieval herb garden. Some of that would have been for flavoring your food, but some of it would have been for medicinal purposes as well. The next section is about medieval life. Lots here to do with medieval occupations, several of which are highlighted in the book, especially shoes. Come up. This is a page from the British Library collection. No, I'm wrong. This one is from Fordham. That has some information about the folks who make shoes in medieval times, and it actually shows, if I'm not completely wrong, there we go, a shoe made in medieval times. That's from the collection. They're not very pretty, and they do have pointy toes. Apparently, there was a limit on how long your toes could be for your shoes before they started being a luxury item, and there was a tax associated with that. Right. Aside from medieval life, we have a little bit about people, specifically Robert the Bruce, who's mentioned in the book. There is a link to some information on places that Adrian visits. And the last item I have included is a document that shows materials from my imaginary middle school library that's based on the holdings of the Fairfax County libraries for middle schools that have to do with medieval England. So I had some difficulty with linking to the actual school library catalog. It kept giving me error messages, so I went ahead and just made a short list. That covers my resources. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.